Durag Diaries, yo people, welcome back.
Every time my speaker's down, man.
You know, we're gonna keep that one in there. I would have done new take, but Durag Diaries, the intro throws everyone off. Welcome, Wolfie, to the channel. As people may have seen, there's a little clip going, I wouldn't say viral, but viral for my channel of me cooking Wolfie about
I saw that, bro. I saw that. I came out. I was like, the plagiarism, man. I hope, you cleared that with Potts, man, and no copyright striking coming on.
No, none of that business, man. Potts don't have a problem with it. I see he posted a clip himself, so we're both benefiting from it. But more than anything, it's good to have Wolfie finally on the channel, making his debut. You've probably seen him in the comment section trying to cook, but not really having too much ingredients.
Making my debut.
Oh no, North Divide.
I'm glad I left such a good impression of you, bro. I'm glad, man. It's good to see.
No, of course, we did have him on the North Divide. So I suppose his debut on an upload, isn't it? Because we've been getting hard. We've been going in on the uploads recently. We've been working hard. We've been getting it going. We're starting there. First of all, transfer window. It's not going so well for you, Wolfie, right now, is it? I'm seeing a few rejections. Talk to me. How are you feeling about the transfer window so far and some of the moves you guys have been making?
So far, so good, man. We've signed Brazilian's #1 striker, international Brazilian. He's coming in. He cooked PSG single-handedly. Yeah, after you cussed him down, he went and scored that.
The second coming of Jesus. Is that what they calling him?
Yeah, it's the original coming, man. It's my guy Igor Jesus, man. Back in goal, so he's done. He's gonna be joining whenever they go out or win the Club World Cup. Yeah. The other defender there, Jair Cunha. I don't know what's going on with him. There's talks that he doesn't want to leave Brazil. He still feels he's too young, homesick, all this crap. There was talks Real are interested in him as well. Yeah. So that's happening. And then we're just going for teams that wear black and white stripes, man. Then we're like, who else wears black and white? Let's go have a look at Juve. We're linked with 5 players from Juve.
So but you skipped though, because you're linked with another couple players from Booty Fago, bruv. Booty FC. There's another 2 players I've seen you linked with.
No, there's 3. So originally the reports are coming out saying like Forest done a triple deal and all this, yeah. And then Cubano, the left back, he's still. I think he ends up going this summer, but I don't know if it'll be Forest. Brighton are in for him, 1 or 2 others. But yeah, then we're doing this whole thing. You know, when you go like Tesco's or something, man, it's like you're there. You might as well do the full weekly shop and not just go in for a drink.
You start seeing the club card deals, and it's like, do you know what? The meal deal's $3.50 now. It's not £4. It's looking like a good deal. And you just want to pick it up.
And that's kind of what happened to us with Juventus, because I reckon we went in like Douglas Luiz, Forest have wanted for ages because Edu's a big fan of him. Yeah. So we went to Juve. And it's like, all right, what else you got on the shelves here? Then I started looking at Vlahovic. I'm not a big fan of, but as a name, he's got a name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's like a better version of Chris Wood. But so I had to look at him.
Better than Sesko, to be honest. You hear all these stuff about Sesko and what he's going to do, what he's going to become. I think Vlahovic right now is more proven and probably better than him.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Man, Sesko's an absolute bum. I hope he goes Arsenal. But yeah, so we had to look at those 2. I don't know what's happened with Douglas Luiz. I think he wants United, if I'm being honest with you. That's the talk on the down. And then it's like, all right, well, we've got here to Juve, man. Let's see what else is on the shelf. The other one we got linked to that I do want, but I can't see it, is Cambiasso, the left back.
Yeah. I can't see that happening. He's a young player that they've signed recently, and he's sort of one of those future players that Juve always do. They sign these young players. They might send them out on loan and have that clause where they get a buyback or something. It's usually in Italy. They're really
and he's expensive. You're starting at probably 40, 45, 50 around that price. He's got a few injury records. His injury record ain't great, but I think he's a good player. I don't see that. I don't think he leaves Juve, to be honest. Full stop. At the moment. And then it's like, all right, well, we got to Juve, man. We don't want to leave empty-handed. So what else you got? You know what I'm saying? So they George Weah's kid, Timothy Weah, who I wasn't really that sold on, bro. I remember him at Lille. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He was okay at Lille in that season. I think where they won the league, where they had Renato Sanchez, who is baller on FIFA 18, man.
Going
19,
way
man.
back. Yeah.
Bro, his inform card was 6. I was like following Leo quite heavily there to see what Renato was doing. And he was like, he stood out. He didn't stand out that much, you know what I'm saying? And then he made the move over now to Juve, and he's doing this whole thing of he wants to stay at Juve to prove himself to Tudor, and he doesn't want to come to Forest to be Elanga's backup. And it's like that's where that one is on that one.
But even on that, you've just said there, you mentioned the name Elanga backup. There's been a bid that come in for Elanga. Like, it has been rejected. But Newcastle, I think we all know they can't do business at the moment. They're waiting until the 1st of July to really start going out there and being ambitious. Are you afraid that could be one where Elanga's head gets turned? Because ultimately it's Champions League football. It's a bigger club, but also a club that's, let's have it right, they're primed in a position to really start going somewhere. So are you worrisome that, you know, he could be the replacement for Elanga?
Yeah, there was talks of that. Look, the stance from Forest is none of our players are for sale. All right, so Elanga, Gibbs White, Murillo, like the big names in the team now. Marinakis ain't interested in selling them. For them to go, they're going to need like an over the odds bid, an overpriced bid coming in to get them out. Newcastle tried to get Elanga on the last day of the transfer window last summer. On the last day, they put a bid in for 40. I think it was about, some say 40, some say 50. Eddie Howe's been a huge fan of Elanga. The Newcastle fan base is moving mad, man. They're stalking Elanga, all his social media stuff, and every time he's liked Isak's post, they're like, "Oh, look at him twerking for Isak and all this stuff, right?" And then he was playing squash or something with what's the other Newcastle player called? That kid, got his name.
Livermento or something.
No. Eluso. I forgot his name. But anyway, he was in Semenyo's top playing there, and they're like, "Oh, look at that! They're friends, man, football friends, and all this shit, right?" And it's just like Newcastle fans moving weird on it. My stance on Elanga is I ain't really that fussed, right? Because I think he doesn't want to go. He's like proper mates with Hudson-Odoi and Ola Aina. They got like this little clique going. I don't see him pushing a move. This would be a case of if Newcastle came in with probably say 60, which I think would be overpriced for him, because we've also got a 20%. Well, Man U have got a 20% sales clause in that, so it has to be overpriced because we got to give Man U some cash. Then I think it'll move. Do I think Newcastle will go to 60? Probably not. It just depends how badly Eddie Howe wants him. In that instance, if the club sanctioned the deal, I think Elanga would go, but I still don't think he pushes for it. Would I be annoyed if he went? Elanga, for me, has been one of our most important players, but I think he could have been more important. For me, his attributes on the pitch are ridiculous. Probably one of the quickest in the league. He can score with both feet, but I just think he needs to work on that football IQ, bro. He's like, he could burn.
He's very similar to Johnson. They are very similar players. And I can see why it works at Forest in the transition and so on. He's fast.
He needs that space.
He needs that space to run in behind. But like I say, as an actual footballer, you'd look at Hudson-Odoi and be like, that's the better player. But Elanga gets more goals. Elanga manages to pop up with more goals and assists in that final third because he's just a bit more effective in those areas. He's just clinical. He knows when to shoot, come from Man United. So he was, to be fair, a decent goal scorer there.
Yeah,
but
I don't think you're far off with the Jono. I would say Jono's a better finisher. Elanga's a better dribbler with the ball. Do you know what I mean? Like Jono, in and around the box, he'll get his tap-ins. He always shoots cross goal when he was playing for Forest and what have you. That's where he got the goals from. Jono couldn't cross the ball in. He could I don't know with Spurs. He gets no height on his crosses. It's always grass cutters. And he can't header the ball. Those are his weaknesses for me. And I just think physically Elanga is better than Jono as well. But there's a lot of similarities between the two players. And yeah, you're right. It works for us because of the kind of more defensive side of the game. It creates that space. But I still think, and I'm saying it in a positive way, that there's more for Elanga to develop into. And I think that's what Eddie Howe sees in him.
Yeah, definitely. I think Eddie Howe's a good coach as well, so he's probably looking at it like, I think I can be the one to bring that out of him. Bring
Yeah,
what he's done with Jacob Murphy essentially this season, which is make him
he's
like a
been good,
really
man.
effective player. He's been good. But Wolfie, let's be honest, man. You guys have fell some way. A couple months ago, you're talking about Gyökeres, you're talking about some of these big signings, some of these big players and moves that you guys were gonna make. Champions League football is gonna call this. Now, obviously, we know the things with Crystal Palace seem to have settled. John Texter is now sold. So look, and also Leon have been relegated. So not really too sure whether they're going to be competing in
They're
Europa League
still
next season.
technically in Europe because it's a different body.
Because it's different body in it. But I suppose that.
But it'll be under threat for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys are now in Conference League, but still with Conference League, it presents an opportunity to play Europe. You're still going to be able to bring in some big players because let's have it right. I'm looking at you guys and be like, you should be favorites to win this. There's no reason why you shouldn't win this competition. So where are you at with like the transfer targets? Because I'm sure you're probably not impressed with a lot of the players you've been linked with.
Nah, not really, mate. Like I'd say Igor Jesus, I'm good with. I
suppose you got Chris Wood. It's a good competition type of thing, right?
Yeah, I think Chris Wood, bro. If we can get 6 months out of him, 6 more months out of him, we'll do well. He's 33, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It's not going to go on forever. So I say get 6 months out of Chris Wood, transition Igor Jesus in. Igor Jesus we were linked with in January, so I've been tracking him since a bit before that. I still think we need a lot more. I still think we need another left back. I think both of us are now linked with the one from what are they called? Mönchengladbach. Never say their name.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh yeah, he looks decent, but like Forest at the moment are doing this potential thing rather than established thing. Yeah, the Brazilian market we got kind of cornered off. Some places in Europe as well. They're looking at the kids. What I want to see is a couple of proper signings. Like I would take Douglas Luiz. That's one that we've been twerking for a while. Even though his attitude ain't all that, I still would take him. I want someone like that in midfield. And then, yeah, we had the links with Gyökeres. That was back in January, Feb, when it was looking like Champions League and Forest sent out the envoy and what have you to speak with him. But I don't know why no one signed him up yet, man. Like, it's crazy. He's a bagsman. Bring him in. It's Nunes' fault, man. Nunes has scared everyone off Portuguese league strikers. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I agree with you. I think we need to make moves. Everyone keeps telling me stay patient. I don't do patience. I want them in now. I want my new shiny toys. Forest have got money. We can spend money. There ain't no PSR issues with Forest looking into this summer. So, yeah, it's just who can we attract, man? Champions League would have been attracting a lot better. We're now in this shitty Conference League. It is what it is, but it's still European football.
Yeah, you're damn right. Still European football, and ultimately, it's something where players see as an opportunity to put themselves a bit more on the map. So when you're talking about attracting players, it could help. But you mentioned it there. There's a few players that we're both in for together. And yeah, I don't really feel so nice about you guys coming into players that we're coming in for because I don't think there's competition. So when you're talking about, there's links to Eze, there's links to this Ulrich. I think there was also someone else that I saw both of us linked to as well. But it seems like we've got similar targets. Do you think that there's an opportunity that you could take a player away from us?
I would say it the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Could you take him away from us? Is what I'm saying. Let's not forget, Jords, right? There's a 10 place gap between us and the league. The reason you sacked your manager was because of his league form. So there's already 10 teams, 9 teams between us. You got to bridge that gap first just to catch us up. I'm hearing Spurs fans saying
we play in Champions League football, yeah?
I hear that,
you thought you were playing that for all season. I didn't even think about Champions League. But I just got in the club because I am who I am. You were outside in the line for months. Like, you were there, you got to the door. The security said, your name's not on the guest list and you ain't got the facilities to pay for a table. So... I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if you should be flexing that, bro. Because if you're sitting here saying we got Champions League, but we're shopping in the same shop as you, you know what I'm saying? Why are you not upgrading from your Aldi shop to your Waitrose here? That's the thing.
That just comes with the market of being Tottenham, innit? Like ultimately, I think we recognize where we're at. We're not going to try to compete with Arsenal, Liverpool, and some of these types of teams for the players they're looking at right now. Because as you've seen, Liverpool going for a player, they don't listen to the player, just says, I want Liverpool. Even Arsenal, right now, they've got that with Gyökeres. Man United are making calls. He said, no, look, I want Arsenal. And Arsenal getting that done. Norgard, instantly, look, I want Arsenal. And you can't blame them. Arsenal are in a very good position right now. So they're an attractive proposition. So we know, we come down a level. We come down to Nottingham Forest, all of these guys.
You come up a level,
we're the big boys. We're the big boys.
You come up a level, man. There's big gaps, big time gap, big gap between us, right? But what was the question before we started? Freaking.
We went to do you honestly think that some of these players we're going for, so even Douglas Luiz, we've looked at him. Do you think that you're gonna get them? Yeah.
Let's do the Eze thing, man. We've been bantering this Eze thing for a while, right? I'm getting told by Flashboy, right?
Yeah. Flashboy is very reliable, people. Look out for Flashboy in the comments.
Now, look, Forest are interested in Eze, right? It's not Forest have offered Crystal Palace X amount, or Forest put a contract out, or Forest are signing. Forest are interested in Eze. What Marinakis does, he doesn't care about like what Forest's done, who we are, how long we've been out of Premier League, right? He's like, I'm just going after these names. If I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. So I think Forest will try and make a move on Eze. I know you guys are heavily linked with him. You're going to kind of try and tout him as your marquee signing for the summer. But let's be real, man. Like, Palace moved well last season, and there's no guarantee to say that Eze leaves Paris. I know there was reports in Jan to say that he's calling it a day at Palace. But if he goes, you got to start thinking about who needs him. Do you know what I mean? Not who wants him. That's the difference for me in this conversation.
And even with it, do you like, because like you said there, yeah, who needs him, not who wants him, but also, do you think there might be a reason why people haven't made a move on Eze so quick? Because for me, when I'm watching Eze, it's like he's a really good player, but also, let's not forget the first 4 or 5 months since last season, he was rubbish.
He was shit.
He was really bad. And albeit Crystal Palace as a team was bad, but he was really struggling. Do you think clubs are sort of hesitant to push him? Also, his age, I think he's 27 currently.
Coming up to 27 now, isn't he? Yeah.
He's coming up to one of those like more prime. If you sign him, he has to bang instantly. Yeah. Otherwise, you're looking at a player that's going to be a flop in a few years. So do you think some clubs are hesitant because of that?
Yeah, I think that. I think there's two things. One, they're hesitant about his age. 27. Look, it ain't old in football terms, but resale value, I think Palace have got him down at 68 mil, something like that, 68 mil.
They're willing to accept installments, they've said.
Yeah, 20 mil a year or whatever they were saying on that. Yeah. So clubs will look at it and think, right, what's his resale value? If we get 3 years out of him, he turns 30. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to be worth as much as a 30-year-old? So the return on the 3 years on the pitch has to outweigh his resale value, for example. You then look at clubs at the kind of higher end of the league, your established kind of title race clubs. The Man City need another kind of playmaker, or they just got Cherky. And the Liverpool need one. Okay, I'm not saying he's a 10. He can play in the 10, but he's playing out wide. But they've got Wirtz in that they've put the money out from. Arsenal, they got crappy Odegaard. Arsenal could be a maybe for him. I think potentially could he play out on that left side? Yeah, cutting in. So I think I'm maybe on Arsenal, but I'm not seeing heavy links to Arsenal. And then you bring it down. You're like, Man U. I thought he would suit Man U. Him and Cunha with Mbeumo. That could work, but I'm not quite seeing it in terms of any links and stuff. And then that brings you probably to the level where we're talking here. Spurs. Could he fit in at Spurs? Yes. Could he fit in at Forest? Definitely. Maybe Villa, but Villa is struggling for money. And then Newcastle. These should be the clubs that are looking at him. Yeah. In my opinion. And at the moment, the only real links are Spurs, and what I've heard, which isn't being published anywhere, is that Forest are interested in him. So I would snap if Forest got him as our marquee signing. I'm loving it, man, because he's quality, bro. You're right, he had a poor start to the season, but he was still pumping in GA. You know what I'm saying? His output was good this season, even though I think he was better last season, which raises the question, was it because Elise was on the other side?
Yes, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Did that make him look better than he really is? I think he is still top-notch quality, and I think he would work.
Yeah, he's a top player, a top player. But it's like you said there, I think there's some questions surrounding why clubs haven't moved on him so quick. And I can understand why they haven't, especially when you look around in the Premier League market right now. West Ham are apparently desperate to sell Kudus. Kudus is a player who's a few years younger than him, has an upside. You talk about resale value, he will have that resale value in 3 or 4 years. Plus, he's available for cheaper money. West Ham, you could probably always work out a deal. They've got an £85 million release clause, but they're willing to do a deal of around 50 to 60 million. So you're looking at, and it's like, yeah, I think Tottenham, we're like Newcastle and like maybe not yourselves because don't need a player in that position. We've been linked with every forward attacking midfielder player, Xavi Simons, João Pedro. I've just seen links with us to every player that plays that like left wing, central attacking midfielder, Semenyo's, all of these types of players in around that same price range. So,
I just remember the player. With both Wissa.
Wissa, yes, that's another one. That, to be fair, I said it yesterday. When you talk about one player that's left at Brentford that Tottenham could potentially go get, that I'd be happy with. Like Norgard went, you've got Mbromo go. The next one up is probably Wissa, or I would say Collins is good, but he wouldn't blow up any trees. It's like he's all right.
This is interesting, bro. Vissa's bagging him in, but he's also getting towards late 20s now, isn't it? So, and the other issue I've got with him is AFCON is this year, so he'll be gone for that. But Forest, Nuno proper loves him, man. Forest went in, I think we did 22 mil or something in Jan, and they rejected. Yeah, I think they want I reckon 40's the mark.
He'd definitely work better at your team. I think he'd work at your team at Tottenham. I think he's suited to transition football. You see a lot of his goals. He arrives on the edge of the box. He arrives in those open areas. I don't ever see him working it up against low blocks.
Do you not want him?
I would take him as competition for Solanke. I feel like we're not going to sign a marquee striker to compete with Solanke a year after we spend 65 mil on him. So being realistic, this is an option that could compete with him. And yeah, for some people, Solanke's underwhelming, but I think under Frank, we see a different player. But look, before we head out, I just want you to give me your number one target, who you would say, like, my number one option, and this will make me a happy window. I'll be happy with this window.
Eze, man. Bring him to me.
Okay. Don't you see there potentially being positional issues? Where would he slot in your team? Because obviously that's Morgan Gibbs-White.
Oh yeah, you make the team fit around him, man. That's what you do. Look, I saw him. He played at the City Ground the other week for England. Him and Gibbs-White linked up. Link up looked good, man. I was sitting there thinking, you know what?
You talking about the game they lost against Senegal?
Yeah. But man, Gibbs-White missed an absolute sitter, man. Look, I think he comes
the one
in.
Where Eze done the maddest. It would have been a crazy assist.
Yeah. That one. I think he comes in on the left-hand side, probably maybe where Callum Hudson-Odoi is, something like that. Or he goes into the 10, Gibbs-White drops into the 8. I don't know. But look, is it going to happen? Probably not, man. But that, to answer your question, that's the one for me, man. That just gives us quality there.
Oh, we can all dream, people. We can all dream. And Wolfie's dreaming about a certain Eze. Now, if Spurs have something to say about it, it definitely won't happen. But hey, let's see in it. We're gonna have to. This is a space that you have to watch because Eze's hot on the market for a lot of clubs, and like we said there, man. People, make sure you keep a lookout. Look, go into the description as well as in the title, Forest Fan TV, where you can watch Wolfie talk everything Forest as well as some other clubs because I know he does touch on them. But Wolfie, you got anything coming up that they need to look out for?
Me and you this afternoon. You there?
12th Man Show. Make sure you're there. If we may have a clip released of it. Who knows? You got to look out. But big up, people. Big up to Wolfie for joining. It's been another transfer news update. And yeah, man, we'll keep these going. Peace, people.